Greetings and welcome to my first ever pregnancy update with baby number 2. So as you all heard, I am currently expecting baby number 2 and I just have to share this journey. So first thing first, my name is Dominique. I have a 2-year-old daughter. Her name is Zuri. So I'm very excited because I am definitely going to push myself to be as consistent as possible this time around. With Zuri, when I was pregnant with her, I documented the whole journey, but those files are saved on my computer and I have no way to edit them. So I'm currently recording on my phone and I'm going to edit this video straight from my phone and then upload it to YouTube. So here we are. So let's jump into this recap. So I'm going to recap my first trimester, which was extremely difficult for me. And when I was pregnant with Zuri, I wasn't experiencing all of this, and I'm still trying to understand why I'm experiencing all of this. Y'all hear Zuri? What are you saying? Okay. So let's recap this first trimester. We're going to start all the way from when I took the pregnancy test. So I got a pregnancy test and I took it on September 30th, 2018. Obviously, we are in 2018. Took the test September 30th and got a positive test. Now, before I took the test, obviously I got the number one sign of pregnancy. I had a missed period and I believe I was late, a week late, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna take a test. So I took the test, got the positive pregnancy test, and before I took the test, I noticed that I had light cramping, and I'm like, okay, well, maybe my flower is about to bloom, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna wait just another day, just to see. We're gonna wait one more day. So finally waited and still was waiting. So I waited and finally still did not see the flower bloom. So I took the test and obviously it came back positive. And so after I took the test, all of a sudden, boom, I get these crazy symptoms. One of the symptoms that were the most annoying symptom was I was cramping really bad. And I believe that it is associated with me still breastfeeding, right? So I'm like, well, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm breastfeeding. I don't know, so I was cramping really bad. And then after a few days of cramping, all of a sudden I just started getting really sick. I started vomiting violently. I started getting lightheaded extremely quick. Couldn't eat anything because everything I was eating, I was just, it was coming back up. So I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the worst. And I never experienced none of this with my first pregnancy. So I'm like, what is going on? I see the ball, big girl. And so I'm like, what is going on? It was so annoying. I experienced a lot of crazy symptoms. I mean, every symptom that you can possibly think of or that's ever known to pregnancy, I experienced it. I was like, oh, why? I just could not understand why I was experiencing it. So I'm looking on the web, trying to find different threads to see if I'm not going crazy. And I found a few. Some people were saying it can be because you're having a different gender. Like I had a girl first, so maybe it'll be a boy now. And it just was a lot. So it got so bad to the point where I had to go to the ER because I was cramping so bad. I was stationed to my bed. I could not move. If I moved, I felt like I was just going to throw my insides up completely and nothing else would be left. It was crazy. So yeah, I went to the ER and they prescribed some nausea medicine. But if any one of you know me, if you don't know, you will find out that I try to take the natural route as quick as possible. I'm not taking no meds. What else can I take? Because I mean, I would love to take that. But yeah, so I was prescribed that medicine. They checked on a baby. At that point, when I went to the ER, I was about 6 weeks. And they basically was saying, you know, the baby looks good. Everything looks fine. You just gotta go through it. It's a part of pregnancy. You know, every pregnancy is not the same. So I was like, man, and I had a lot of questions and concerns, and they were like, well, you know, you definitely need to talk to your doctor and see if she, you know, can help you in any way, shape, form, or fashion. So I was like, you know what, I'll just wait to speak to my doctor. Now, my doctor normally see her pregnant patients at 9 weeks, which is something that she needs to reconsider, because it's like, ma'am, I'm over here Struggleville and you want to wait till 9 weeks. So went home and I just had to go through the motion, and trying to find different things that worked for me was hard, very hard. Nothing that I was eating was working. It was a struggle, and I don't know how I got through, but we made it. We here now. We here in the second trimester, and everything is better, obviously, because I'm sitting here documenting this for myself and for those of you who want to, you know, watch. So after, you know, going through the ER and getting back home and settled, had to continue to go through everything that I was experiencing. So I have my notes here so I don't forget anything. So about a week later, so about 7 weeks, I started experiencing tender breasts. And me thinking, I'm like, okay, well, maybe it's because I'm still breastfeeding. Everything to me, I was associating with breastfeeding, because again, I've never experienced none of these things with my first pregnancy. So I'm like, everything is maybe because I'm still breastfeeding. Maybe because, and I had moments where I was like, I don't know if I'm going to continue to breastfeed as long as I wanted to, because I can't pour into all of us. I can't pour into Zuri, myself, and this new baby. So I'm like, man, definitely had those moments where I'm like, okay, we're going to have to start weaning. But I have to wean when I'm feeling better. So it was a lot. It was definitely an emotional roller coaster, to say the least. But yeah, so I experienced all of that. The metal taste in your mouth, everything. I'm like, what is this? It was crazy. So then I had another ER visit right at 8 weeks, I believe. Right at 8 weeks, I had another ER visit because the cramping came back. And this time, it was full force. So I went to the bathroom and I'm like, you know, prepping myself because I feel like I'm about to throw up. And all of a sudden, I just get this weird cramping sensation. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, this is very scary at this point. So I called my boyfriend. I'm like, listen, I can't take this cramping any longer. Like, please bring me to the hospital, because I honestly don't know what's going on. So he's like, listen, I'm calling an ambulance, because I don't know if I can get to you as quick as I you know, would like to. So hop on an ambulance and go straight to the ER. I'm gonna meet you there. So get there and they check the baby. Everything looks fine. And they're like, well, maybe you're cramping because it may lead to a miscarry. And I'm like, okay, because this is just too much at this point. It's too much. So, but I didn't have any, you know, bleeding or anything going on. It just was major severe cramping. And they wind up not prescribing, but they wind up giving me, I believe it was Tylenol. They wanted to give me Tylenol, but I didn't take it. I just said a little prayer and I was like, you know, if it's meant, it's going to happen. If not, you have to understand and know that it's inevitable, you know? So, after, you know, a few minutes or so, they were like, well, we're going to go ahead on and discharge you, because it's pretty much nothing that they can do. So as soon as I left the hospital, oddly enough, the cramping ceased. So I'm just like, what is going on? Like, it's confusing me at this point. But finally, got home, got settled, and everything was pretty much, better. But I still was sick, like, the nausea feeling, and just couldn't sit up or stand up for too long, and a lot. So finally, it was time to see my OB. I was right at 9 weeks, and I told her everything that I was experiencing. And that appointment, I was sick. I couldn't even really tell her everything that I was experiencing. So my boyfriend tried to help out and, mention a few things here and there. But she basically told me some steps to take and what to do, basically, with trying to eat, eating portions, eat this type of food right now. And, maybe you'll start feeling a little better. Make sure you're trying to, like, eat nuts and eat, basically, like, crackers with cheese and stuff like that. That is more of snacking, so to speak, and eat fruits. Try to, put more and more fruits in your body, more vegetables. Don't eat nothing with too much seasoning and things like that. Things that I already knew, but it was like reassuring, that she was informing me to do these things. So that visit, it was definitely helpful, but I still was sick. And she told me you should take those nausea pills because they're going to help. But I was like, we gonna get through this. So finally got through, because right at my 13th week, I felt a relief. I noticed I was starting to feel better. When I wake up, I'm not feeling as sick. I noticed, I can drink a little bit more water, because at first I was just having to sip on water and not, drink too much of it because it'll fill my stomach, and it was a lot. So finally got to week 13, and praise God that we are feeling so much better. Oh my gosh, I am very, very much so happy that we are over that hurdle. Not completely, but we're there a little bit. I did notice at about week 11, I noticed that sunflower seeds and lemonade was something that helped the nausea, but it only helped for a few days. And then I'm like, well, maybe it's only helping because I'm almost out of this first trimester. I don't know, but those two things kind of sort of worked for me toward the end of my first trimester. So maybe if you would like to try those things to see if that works for you. But now I'm pretty much able to eat, I'm not gonna say what I want, but just I'm starting to be able to eat more than what I was eating before. I actually lost weight as well because I was throwing everything up. Couldn't keep nothing down. So it definitely was a rough first trimester. That pretty much is a brief recap of my first trimester. And I hope this video is encouraging to somebody out there. I know I definitely want to be able to look back on this video and see, just how far I've come with this pregnancy. So definitely gonna document as much as possible. So I will see you all in my next video. Peace and light.